Alright, time now is 8:06 a.m. in the morning on October 23rd. It's a Sunday and I have decided to go to church. Shouldn't have. I shouldn't have decided. I don't know why I'm wasting time going to church. Again, for lunch, and I want to get that haircut. Except nobody's free to bring me to that haircut place today. So I'll probably go next week or next week if I want to get that haircut, which I really want to. In Hong Kong, I can get haircuts anytime. I go to the place and then boom. But now it's a bit complicated. And I want to get that haircut before the whole Asian World Film Festival thing happens. So hopefully next week, October 30th, and hopefully nothing happens on that day. Like hopefully I don't have other obligations on October 30th. But yeah, anyways, last night I ran out of time to do everything. I didn't do much anthropology homework because I ran out of time. I didn't do much biology homework for my midterms because I ran out of time. I only watched half of Sanjuro. And I was doing my laundry and I don't know why or how, but I dried the blanket in the drying machine for like 5-6 hours and it's still not dry and I gave up, and then I washed and dried my my pajamas, and I had to wait until it gets dried, and so I waited until like 2:50, and then by the time I finished taking a shower and brushing my teeth, it's already like 3:10 or 3:20. And so I slept from 3:20 until now. So yeah, I really need better time management. I feel like even if I sleep, I don't want to sleep less. So again, I need to meal prep more, but also I need to do YouTube less. That's gonna save me a lot more time. Yeah, I'm so fucking tired. Hopefully someone take me to the haircut next Sunday. Otherwise I'm gonna look like a total freaking idiot. Yeah. Anyways, that's it. I'm gonna go to the church and then nothing happens. Basically today. Nothing else will happen. And yeah, just hopefully I have enough time to do everything I need to. Write the personal insight questions, essays, edit my short film. I just have too much on my plate. I still remember how back in March and back in April, one of the reasons why I keep going to church is because I have nothing to do and I want to go somewhere. I know it's not like anywhere all that crazy, but at least I'm meeting people. At least I'm not trapped in my apartment. But now I'm not living that life anymore. 6 months later, and guess what? So yeah. Alright, time now is 3:47 p.m. I came back home and I took a shower. So let's just briefly go over what happened today, and then I'm in my pajamas right now, so I'm gonna go back to bed because I'm really freaking sleepy. I went to the church. I slept during sermon quite significantly. Um, the cellist girl showed up, sat right beside me to my right, and she also like slept multiple times. So she was doing this, and I was also doing this at the same time. It was really funny. Um, and then I went to the bakery again. So me, the older sibling, the pastor's son, the glasses girl, and her boyfriend, the glasses guy. Glasses girl, as in the UCLA girl. We went to the bakery, and originally the older sibling was like, you know what, I'm gonna walk around to see other bakeries because I want something different this time. But we ended up going to the same bakery again because one of our church teachers, the cardiologist, is paying. So I got a sausage bun. I ate it. We went to Sunday school, Bible study. Nothing important happened. Kind of boring. And then that's it. So Jonah didn't show up today, so there are zero chances of me having a haircut today. R.I.P. But I think it's a good thing if I do attend the Halloween party, which is still something that's really crazy and unlikely. Maybe keeping a long hair would be nice because I can do something with it. I don't fucking know. So there's that. But at the end, everyone's gone. I don't know who's gonna drive me back home. So at the end, it is decided that some of the people from the young adult fellowship will take me to lunch. So me and like six other people from the young adult fellowship went to a restaurant in Koreatown. At first in my heart I was like, oh, I don't even know them that well, but you know what, screw it. I can't say no at this point. So they nicely brought me to a restaurant, and it's actually real nice. It's a really local restaurant. The people there speak Korean. Like 99% of the customers there are Korean. And I had an amazing meal. I had an amazing meal with kimchi, like 4 types of soup, roast pork chop, roast chicken, cold noodles, hot soup noodles, braised pork, everything, bibimbap. It was amazing. It was a really good meal. Pancakes, oh my god. But yeah, and then one of the people, a bassist, and another woman, bring me back home. That's it. Aoba made an Instagram story this morning, reposting another Instagram story of another person where Aoba's in it, being second AC on a feature film. This is the first time Aoba has worked on a feature film, which is very impressive. I've never worked on one. So Aoba's, like I have predicted many months ago, Aoba is a lot more resourceful than both me and Pepper combined, probably. And I asked Aoba, I DM'd her, you know what? I'm 20 years old. If I want to ask someone something, I just ask them. So I asked Aoba, I DM'd her, like, is this like an internship? And she's like, no, I was asked to do this job. So that's really impressive. I kind of want to do that too, I wish I have more connections. I mean, I have a lot of connections now already. But, yeah, that's really impressive. And that's, and this made me realize something, and that is, if that wasn't Aoba, if that was Pepper, I would be like, oh, what the heck? Pepper's got another job thingy and she didn't tell me. But if Aoba has something like this, I'm not as shocked, or I do not care as much. And I realize the more I learn about someone, the more I am shocked if a person goes somewhere or does something. Whereas if I and that person are not that close, say Aoba, still I can consider her a friend. If she does something crazy, I would be shocked, but less, So that's pretty interesting. But again, I don't want to run out of time again today. I have tons of shit to do. I got 2 videos to edit. I got a movie to finish. I got tons of homework. I got my short film to edit. I got tons of shit to do. I'm just gonna take a nap right now. Half an hour, 1 hour nap, whatever. Just a nap. Just a quick nap. I know I'm not gonna fall asleep. It's fine. Alright, time now is 9:09 p.m. Let's wrap it up. I just finished dinner. I cooked a lot of food today for dinner, but I cooked it all within like 25 minutes. It's a penne pasta with Alfredo sauce, salt and pepper, obviously, and then I had the chicken wings that I marinated yesterday with lemongrass, and then I had cabbage, shiitake mushroom fried together with garlic. That's it. Really nice. And I had a prepped meal, 2 more meals worth of penne, and 1 more meal worth of chicken wings. And that's pretty great. I could have fried more chicken wings, but the thing is, I don't want them to turn bad because they're meat. But the pasta should be fine. They should, if they sit for a long time, it should be fine. And that's pretty much it. So I'm gonna rush a little bit because I went back to sleep, and while I didn't fall asleep, I was sort of in a state of relaxation today afternoon that I actually eventually woke up at around 5:30. So I thought I would wake up very early at 4 p.m., 4:30 p.m., but yeah. So I spent quite a lot of time finishing my college update video, and then yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm low-key worried about my Duolingo English test. Okay, I digress. But yeah, right now I'm gonna focus on doing anthropology homework, my film history class essays. I need to hand them in 2 days. Gotta work on it. And then I will also work on my personal insight questions a little bit. Maybe I'll edit my short film if I have time. My mouse is fucking broken. I can't edit shit with my mouse like that. So I actually, yesterday, I went to Amazon and I actually ordered a mouse for my laptop. I think about $20. I try my best to not buy anything too cheap, afraid that it's going to break, but also not too expensive because I don't want to cost too much. I did a little research, and apparently a lot of people suggest Logitech. They make good mouses, so I'm like, fine. So I went to Logitech, mouses, whatever. So yeah, my mouse should be arriving tomorrow, and then I'll finish watching Sanjuro, and that's it. I won't be watching anime tonight, which I had originally planned. But then again, I'm running out of time. And not much else. Not much else, really. I have been thinking about. Okay, I actually talked to Zara a little bit. WhatsApped her. Had a WhatsApp conversation with her during dinner. She asked me if I've seen the movie A Chinese Ghost Story. I've seen it, and she said it reminds me. Leslie Jung reminds her of the guy she has a crush on right now. That's why she really likes Leslie Jung's movies and listened to a lot of Leslie's songs lately. It's funny, but I do that shit too. You know, Midair Thief. Part of the reason why I love Midair Thief so much is because his music reminds me a lot of Mary. And when Zara asked me why, I can't really explain it. It's just the style. It's the ocean. It's the winds. And then we proceeded to talk about like romantic movies and how I have a whole list of movies and TV shows in my Letterboxd, where it's basically a bunch of movies that I cannot watch until I start dating. And that is if I start dating. If I never date, then I'll never watch these movies. And one of which is Comrades, the love story. A love story? I forgot. It's Team featuring Maggie Joan and Leslie Joan. And Zara watched the movie and really loved it and said it's not exactly about dating, but I'll still hold off. But yeah, you know, lately I've also been thinking about love and romance. I know I shouldn't be thinking about it, and I did a really good job trying to avoid thinking about it. But one thing, however, that revelation I had a few nights ago on Wednesday night was, now that I'm thinking about it, it's not a very great one at that. Because here's the thing. one thing I've observed between people who like are in love with each other, are dating, is that they're always not mysterious with each other. Like when a dating couple interact, they don't act mysterious at all. In fact, they do the opposite. They reveal everything to the other person. So like Leo and Pink, they would just mess around, they would joke around, they would poke fun at each other. And if Leo had a piece of food stuck onto his lip, Pink would tell him or help him wipe it off. If Pink wears a silly, goofy shirt, Leo would tell her. There's nothing extraordinarily mysterious about this. Okay, now let's not use Leo and Pink. Let's use just couples I know in real life in general. They're all just very like normal to each other. And that's true. And I didn't just realize this, I know this. But I've never truly realized that what I'm looking for is mystery. But true love is not mysterious. So if I had to follow my own logic, if you have a crush on someone, like the same way I had one for Mary, she was mysterious. She was so mysterious and strange and powerful, it's like she has magical powers. Now, if I dated Mary, which is insane, just a thought so insane, if we're so revealing and open to each other and if we're so normal towards each other, then shouldn't there be like a gap between the mystery and the normalness? It wouldn't just normally jump from mystery to normalness. There should be a gap. And I realize that maybe either there's a missing gap and I've never experienced that, or maybe that sense of mystery is not exactly true love. It's only true crush, which is a kind of love, but not the most common and the more mature type, the more real life type. If I am looking for mystery, I'll never find it because I'm 20 fucking years old and I look at the world in a normal, mature way now. I look at people in a normal way now. I don't treat people like gods anymore. I don't treat people like magical deities anymore, the same way I used to treat Mary or Jordana. They were like forces of enchantment, but I don't see people like that anymore. I have grown as a man. So if I had to like completely avoid any romantic interaction just because I can't find a mysterious spark, I'll never go anywhere. I don't know. Like, I'm just questioning my... Like, I even made a tweet saying, oh, can someone just becomes a romantic suddenly? I went to Quora, I went to Reddit to check. Apparently people don't do that, actually. Like, people don't just randomly lose a sense of romance. They either are born with it, or they just... They just keep being romantic the whole life. So I used to be able to be interested in Mary. I should be interested in someone now. Except that interest is different, though. It's paradoxical. The whole thing is paradoxical. I don't even know how to explain this. And then, you know what? I'm going to call Zara and speak to her about that. I think it's a really good topic to talk about. I don't know. Just lately I've been questioning my ability to love, because I really do think that there have been many points in my life, especially in the last year, when I think to myself like, man, I don't think I have the capability to love anyone anymore. I've become cold-blooded. What if that's not true? What if that's not true and I don't know it because I don't feel it? I don't know. I don't know what's going on anymore. I'm just questioning. You know how people question their sexuality? I'm questioning my romanticity. Romanticity, I don't know. My romance. My romantic ability. I'm just questioning it. Am I romantic? Am I not? But yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'll do some push ups tomorrow morning. Alright, so time now is 2:01 a.m. A couple things to talk about actually, just a quick update. It's been a productive night. I really pushed myself. I finished a couple of anthropology homework. I wrote a couple of, out of 5 short answer questions and 1 essay for my film 2 midterms, I did 2 short answer questions. I didn't do anything from my personal insight questions, but I did plan out a timeline where I basically plan out which, I'm going to give myself 4 days for each PIQ. So I'll be completing this PIQ question 2 creativity question very soon, and then I'll do question 5, question 6, and question M, which stands for mandatory for transfer students. And that's it. Now, one thing is right now it's already 2 a.m. There's no way in hell am I watching Sanjuro because after watching it, it'll already be 2:45, which is messed up. So I'm just gonna give up now. I just spent a lot of time editing my Sony camera video, which is 40 minutes long. But there are 2 more things I would like to mention. One is that I spoke with Aoba a little bit more on internships. I told Aoba that I'm looking for internships. Aoba told me to email the professors. I told her I emailed them already. And then she said, well, then ask them directly. And I said, I asked my Italian professor, almost said his real name. And Aoba's like, well, that's sad. And then Aoba told me that apparently we have to pay tuition in order to join an internship. Because I told Aoba, okay, fine, I'm going to ask a counselor about this. And then Aoba said, maybe you shouldn't even ask them because international students cannot have internships. But I thought some internships can be school approved, right? But anyways, that's that. So Aoba told me that she's joining all these projects, which are really great. I'm happy for her, but she will not tell the school that. She's probably going to put it in her resume, but yeah. So yeah, there's that. Next thing is right now in Hong Kong time it is October 24th. And you know what day it is? It's Mary's birthday. So shout out to Mary. Shout out to Mary, the mysterious girl. If I ever see her again in real life, which I doubt will happen, I probably will never see her again or talk to her again ever until the day I die. But if I do, I'll tell her that I had a crush on her for 4 years. I believe I've told her, but she just didn't get it because I said it in such an indirect way over Instagram DMs. But yeah, it's her birthday, and if you go look at her Instagram story right now, which you can't, because why would you know? She has tons of friends celebrating birthday for her, so I'm happy for her. So there's that, yay. She's 21 years old. Jesus Christ. I'm 20 years old. Jesus Christ to me. But yeah, shout out to Mary. Really, really, really for real, shout out to Mary. One thing I would like to say though is that this is the first time in years since I've had a crush on Mary that I didn't care much about her birthday. Like, even last year in 2021, a week before October 24th, I was already like, oh, Mary's birthday is going to happen a week later. But this year, I'm just like, I care less. I think it's because I care about my own life a lot more now and the people around me. And I guess my headcanon is that she's dead. And everyone, not dead, but she doesn't exist in the world that I exist in now, which is the world of Los Angeles. So, yeah. There's that. And not much else. Alright, time now is 11:22 a.m. on October 24th. Magic number 1024. I said it last night already, but I'll say it again. Shout out to Mary. Yeah, I had a pretty good sleep, except there has been a pretty awkward hiccup in the middle. I went to bed at 2:50, and I woke up at 11:15. The alarm rang. But at 8:15, Cindy woke me up. But she has come up with a new creative way of waking me up. And that is to call the paramedics. So at some point at 8:15, a couple of white people came to... I don't know it because I didn't see it. I stayed on my bed the whole time. But for half an hour straight, a couple of paramedics came into the apartment. They were like, hello, is anyone home? And at first I thought they're like, fixers. They're like, maintenance fixers sent by the apartment building. But no, Cindy came out of her room sounding like a damsel in distress. Sounds like she's crying. And then the paramedics talked to her. And the paramedic, the main one, kept asking her. He asked her like 4 or 5 times, are you taking any medication? And are you taking any new drugs? Because I guess Cindy looks like she's on drugs. And then they checked her blood pressure and all her other stuff, and it seems fine. And they said, ma'am, you're totally fine. Do you want to go visit a doctor? Do you want to make an appointment with a doctor? At the end, they just left. It's the 3rd fucking time Cindy's called the paramedic. I feel like I don't want to belittle Cindy's problems, but holy crap, like, you gotta call them 3 times, and for each time you don't actually have a real problem. Like, I wouldn't say real problem, like it's a mental problem, probably, but if I was Cindy, I wouldn't do that. I would just deal with it myself. She's relying on her environment too much. But yeah, the paramedics are gone, and Cindy's playing music in her room, dancing, being all happy and nice all over again. So there's that. Well, I'm in my pajamas right now, which means it's time for doing some push-ups and sit-ups. I do feel a little bit more muscular than a couple weeks ago. Just a tiny bit. That's good. That's it. Today I'm going to Biology 3 class again, which is gonna suck ass. That's it. And then afterwards I'll go to Nijio Market if I have time, because I need more food. Yeah, I got so much to do again, every single day. I need to finish Sanjuro, I need to do a Cantonese album review. Speaking of reviews, doesn't matter, but I did an RRR movie review a few days ago, and right now it's at over 5,000 views, because there were so many Indian people watching my video, and 99% of them think I'm Japanese. I don't know why, but people always think I'm Japanese, and it's a good thing, and people always think the Japanese are Chinese. Like, people mistake Aoba as Chinese. Like, come on. But yeah. And yeah, that's all. That's all. I feel like I have something important to say, but I do not. I'm gonna do some push-ups. Alright, this is what I got from Nijio Market. Time now is like 7:21. Salmon, mango jelly. I can't find luncheon meat, so I just got myself some sausages. Hopefully these taste nice. If not, I'm gonna throw up. Mango mochi ice cream, cherry Coke, milk tea. That's it. Alright, time now is 9:16. Shit hair. Oh my god, my hair is amazing. Amazingly shit, that is. So let's talk about today. Let's wrap it up today. I went to biology 3 class. I left the apartment extremely late today at 2:45. The class begins at 3:15, so I was fucked. And indeed, I was late. So I had to take two buses to the campus, but I didn't even take the first bus today. I just walked to the second bus stop, and then I was late by about 23 minutes. Um, but it didn't matter all that much. So I was scared that there would be a quiz and I would be late for it. And turns out there is a quiz, but the professor gave us a lot of time. So by the time I arrived, like I went to the middle table. There's two white guys, the black girl and the Japanese American guy, and they were writing something on a piece of paper. They were writing their names, and then that Japanese American guy gave that paper to me, and I saw that they wrote their names. I'm like, okay, fine, and I just wrote my name on there. I just went with the flow. I have no idea what's going on, and then afterwards, everyone else they were like focusing on writing something, very quiet. Turns out they're doing a quiz. And then those other four people in my group, they went out and they took a quiz, like a paper, like a question paper, and then a Scantron. And so I did the same, and then I just finished the quiz within like 5 minutes. It was so freaking easy. It's 6 multiple choice questions, extremely easy. I finished it. That's it. Afterwards, I didn't know what to do, so I just wrote some notes, whatever. And then I went outside. After the white guy went outside, who used to sit beside me. I wanted to ask him what I missed, but he was making a phone call. I asked another guy, what did I miss? The guy with the JoJo shirt in the first class. And he's like, oh, you didn't miss anything. It was a little awkward. Went back to class, and then we have a lab activity where we had to, what did we do for lab anyways? Yeah, wow, there's this huge lab activity where we had to, um, throw a bunch of colored beads onto a mat, onto like a mosaic mat, like a piece of plastic mat, and then like we just pick those beads back up, and then they replicate, and then we do it again and again and again, sort of like natural selection, which is a really poorly designed lab activity. And then we had to look at some animal photos and some actual animal samples in giant water-filled jars, and then we had to look at some cactus and write down everything. And then I speed ran the entire lab report. There were 4 pages of it. I just speed ran the whole thing. I was the fastest of the whole class. I finished the whole lab report before the class even ended, and then I even scanned it with my phone, uploaded it to my Gmail, and then I just left. So that's that. So I went back. I took a bus, but I didn't take the second bus back. Instead, I walked to Nijia Market, where I bought a few stuff. And then, as I was leaving Nijia Market, I ran into the Japanese Korean girl. I was looking at her and I'm like, man, she looks really familiar. She looks like that Korean Japanese girl. Could it actually be her? And then I looked at her, and then she looked back, and she's like, oh, hey. And I'm like, hey. And then I just walked away. And then that's it. Walk back home. That's all. Yeah. Nothing happened. Nothing else happened. So, that's pretty much today. And I have so much shit to do later on. I didn't do anything almost this morning other than finishing a movie and filming a movie review. I got so much shit to do, it's insane. I need to start doing them. Oh, it's a Monday, so I need to finish the freaking midterms before tomorrow, 12 p.m. So I need to do that. Oh my god, this is disastrous. What am I gonna say? There's something on my mind, but I can't quite talk about it. I can't quite, not talk about it, but I can't quite figure out what is on my mind. I'm bothered by something, but I don't really know what I'm bothered by. Huh. That's odd. That's odd. I'm just naturally generally worried, I guess. I look bad. I guess that's the thing I want to talk about. I look really bad without facial hair. I did a bunch of push-ups this morning, which felt really healthy, but because usually when I do push-ups, back in Hong Kong, I do them at night before dinner, and then I would feel really tired, and then after dinner, after whatever, I go to bed. Next day, I would feel really sore, but nowadays, if I do push-ups in the morning, I don't feel all that sore right now, and I'm scared that it's not enough push-ups in order to make me feel sore. I also look stupid in general. Like, again, without a mustache, I look stupid. But then I did say that I want to get used to this look. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm kind of worried about uni apps too. After speaking to Alba last night, I was like, yeah, you know what? I should probably email my the Indian professor and the other professor, not the Italian one, the white guy, the white American guy. Maybe I should email them again. Hopefully they respond this time. And maybe I should start emailing stuff regarding letter recommendation to the Italian professor. Maybe I should ask the Middle Eastern girl about it. I don't know. I just feel like everyone's ahead of me a little bit. Like, Alba's always ahead of me. Like, Alba's got to work in a feature film, which is crazy. And another person who worked in that feature film is Lauren, the DP. And then, yeah, I want to help Pepper. I'm low-key worried about the Duolingo test because I didn't do very well. I don't know. I have also been doing some more research on lens because I want the wide distortion, and my camera doesn't have that. And I realize that that's only an anamorphic lens thing, so I'm looking to buy one. But I will never buy one again because it's so expensive. I'm scared of running out of time on everything, and Kat DM'd me on Discord asking me when am I going to be at the campus so that she could give me my water bottle back. What else am I worried about? I don't know. Not much. Weight gain? I always think, the first thing I think of whenever I see that I've lost weight is that I've lost weight because of stress. But that's not true. I think the biggest reason is simply because I don't eat enough. Because I need more than 2,200 calories per day now to maintain weight, and to gain probably 2,400. But then I will grow fatter. This is where I start doing exercises. I don't know. I really don't know. Yesterday I saw Pepper make an Instagram story where she and like 3 other girls hang out. They go drinking. Like I don't know. I feel like I've already reached level 6, which is upper class. But how do you even define that? I mean, yeah, I'm invited to things. People randomly start conversations with me now, which is huge, which is crazy. But I actually haven't really gone that far. Like, there's always more in terms of socializing. There's always more. Like, I will never reach a certain point, I feel like. I don't know, but I don't know, man. Alright, I'm using my new mouse now. My old mouse, which is over there, is basically friggin' broken. It's almost unusable. Like, using my old mouse, when I highlight things, it just skips. You know what? I'm just gonna demonstrate it. So again, new mouse, sort of this small USB. I can't remove it. What the heck? hold on, what? Okay, I tried really hard to pull this thing out of my laptop. Okay, but okay, let's do this. Well, that's great. More issues. Alright, so right now I'm using my HP mouse. That's probably been used for 35 years already. Now, if I try to hold it, okay, it's still up. See what I just did? Okay, I'm trying to cross the bar to here. Okay. Okay. Here. Okay, I'm trying to do this hold and grab, right? Grab and slide. Grab and slide. Okay. It seems to be working fine right now. But oh, there we go. It doesn't work. Oh. Okay, if I do circles. Oh, there we go. It's jumping. It's jumping. And sometimes I press. Okay, it's working. Okay, but sometimes it mistakes as a double press. It's not. Okay, it's better now for some reason. But like sometimes it mistakes as a double press. So if I'm closing one tab. Okay, it's fine now. I don't know why. Sometimes it doesn't even respond. Okay, but you get the idea. Okay, see it. Oh. Okay, it's working fine now. Okay, but anyways, this thing sucks. Now if I use this thing, okay, smooth. All right. Test invalid. Alright, so it's 12:02 a.m. after midnight. I just don't have the motivation to do any homework, but I have to. I have the midterms. Fuck. But I just found out that my Duolingo test has been invalid. And I was a little worried. I thought, oh my god, did I do the test so poorly that it became invalid? No. It became invalid because apparently I had another window opened. When I did the test, I had Google opened. So it thought that I cheated. Yeah. This is both a good thing and a bad thing. The good thing is I can retake the test because I did pretty poorly in my opinion. When I did the test. But the bad thing is I'm gonna have to waste more time doing the test. Which is fine. It's not too late right now. So, yeah. Alright, time now is 11:06 a.m. on October 25th. Yeah, so, I went to bed at 3:05, but at 3:15, someone walked out of their room and switched off the aircon, or more like switched it to auto mode from definitely turning it on to automatic. So I had to leave my bed and walk out to turn it back into auto. And then I naturally woke up at 10:15. Naturally woke up at 10:15. Don't know why. But I still laid on my bed, and then now it's yeah. So today I'm going to film history class, which is gonna be fun. And I may redo the Duolingo English test tonight if I have time, if I feel like it. And I have a midterms to hand in within 1 hour, so I'm going to immediately make myself some breakfast, and then I will finish up the midterms, and then I'm just gonna have lunch then. And that's all about it for today. Um, my chest doesn't really feel that sore or anything. It appears I haven't done enough push-ups yesterday morning. It is a little sore, but just a tiny bit, just so faint, but not enough, you know. Don't worry, when Thursday comes, I'll be doing push-ups again. I'm so glad I bought a new mouse on Amazon. $21 is kind of expensive, but it's worth it, I think. It's very silent, it's very smooth. Using my laptop feels nice again. But yeah, last night was a bit productive, just a bit. You know, I watched 2 episodes of Cyberpunk instead of 4. I didn't do anything for my personal insight question, but at least I edited my short film for a little bit. At least I finished one anthropology homework. At least I finished the essay and one short question for my film history midterms. So at least I did a bunch of that. At least I uploaded my school update video. At least I uploaded my Cantonese, my little airport video. But yeah, I really I'm doing a lot of meal prep. You know, I cooked a bunch of chicken wings at the same time. I cook a bunch of pork loin strips at the same time. I cook a bunch of pasta at the same time. I'm doing more meal prep, less YouTube, in order to save more time. So yeah, and that's it for today. I don't have nothing. I don't have anything to say. I'm experiencing a period of time where I don't really have a lot of thoughts and feelings. I reckon tomorrow will be interesting though, because I and Pepper will study together. I want to do a practice Duolingo test with her tomorrow. But yeah, that's basically it. And yeah, I really have nothing to say. I don't know what the fuck's wrong with my laptop, so I've been turning it on and off for like 8-9 times already. The Wi-Fi keeps on dying, and every time it dies, it takes about 2 to 3 minutes. Okay, there's Wi-Fi now, that's great. And it's gonna die soon. Okay, it's gonna die, and then in about 2 to 3 minutes, it crashes. Fucking crashes, and the whole computer restarts. Alright, time now is 7:27 p.m. Thank God I don't have a crispy I do have a crispy voice right now. My hair is fucked. So I came back home about an hour ago from film history class. Pretty nice class again. Arrived quite early today. I was gonna start rewriting my personal insight questions because I don't know, because I just don't want to waste any time because I have so much shit to do. But yeah, and then Patrick showed up. It's been going quite rough for him in the Film 33 department. The project for Film 33 isn't receiving enough funding until halfway through the class when we went on a break, and he checked the Indiegogo page and somebody donated $1,000 and he was like, holy fucking shit. We watched a movie called Spirit of the Beehive. It's pretty weird, but pretty good. I asked the professor a really good question, and he's like, damn, I wish nobody had asked me this question. But yeah, you know, again, making an impression on a professor, that's good. But I legit am curious about this film, and I legit want to know more about it. And then during the second break, after watching the film, I ran into Cliff and Justin the Malaysians. I also ran into Udav the Indian guy before I went into the classroom at first, but then later on Udav showed up again. So yeah, everyone's connected. And then when I talked to Cliff and Justin, I asked Cliff, what class are you in here for? And he said editing. And I asked, is it DM Post 30 or is it DM Post 3? Because I am going to go for DM Post 30 next semester, but some people are saying 3 is the one to go if you want to learn about editing. I have no idea which one is it. And they say it's 3. And then I said, well, I've heard somebody else say it's 30. And then Cliff was like, "Oh yeah, Leslie said it was 30." And then I'm like, "Leslie, a Chinese girl?" And he's like, "Yeah. Wait, you know her?" So yeah, again, we're all just connected. I don't feel like I'm one of the top people, but I'm close, you know? But that's also weird because I'm pretty sure Cliff had seen me and Leslie talk because we did work a little bit together in our bus shoot, but I guess he didn't see that, I guess. But yeah, you know, it's crazy how Leslie, the Chinese girl, is so connected with people. She's everywhere, and Cliff is everywhere as well. Um, when Pepper showed me the Instagram account, uh, which which is basically this mouthpiece, um, this secret organization that organizes these crazy parties, euphoria style parties for my college. And Potter, the Hong Kong guy, you probably forgot about him. Potter follows this account, and Leslie also follows this account. Pepper knows about this account, but Pepper doesn't follow it. She's smart. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much it. But yeah, I came back home and I realized I have a lot of time. I wanted to do the Midnight album review, but I am not sure if I should do it today or not. But if I don't do it today, I can't do it tomorrow because I'll be very busy tomorrow. Um, so yeah, that's that. I'll have to bring my laptop and then my camera to school tomorrow, which is a lot of stuff. I'm gonna bring a big jacket to wrap around my camera because I don't have a camera bag. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna bring my laptop there because I and Pepper are going to like study together um in the campus. Or if we figure out a quieter place, that would be nice too, but there literally is no quieter place around this area. And that's pretty much it. Um yeah, I have so much shit to do. It's insane. I got tons of homework. I got personal insight question. I want to finish writing question 2 tomorrow so that I can start writing question 5 a couple days later. I want to email the professors about internship again. I want to ask Michelle about the letters of recommendation. And yeah, I got so much to think about. All right, time now is 9:20 p.m. Here's some lemon tea. All right. I just had a very simple dinner, rice, dai bok choy, and a gigantic piece of salmon steak. Wow, I almost like wanted to stop eating. But yeah, it's huge. It's a huge piece. But I still haven't crossed 2,000 calories. I need to do that. I want to cross 2,200 calories, in fact. So first of all, about the Duolingo English test, I won't do it tonight. I'll probably do it tomorrow night, but I probably won't have time to do that, so I'll do it Thursday night probably. Oh, actually, I don't have time to. I got a Zoom meeting, HQOS. Maybe Friday night. Damn. It's not too late. It's not too late. I just need to do it before November 30th. Okay. But yeah, I won't have time tonight. If I want to do the Taylor Swift review, I will not have time. That's okay. Another thing I'd like to mention. Shoot, I have one thing I would like to mention, but I kind of forgot already. Right, I remember it. That's what I'm gonna do later. I am going to clean up my bathroom because my shower is getting moldy again, and I don't like it. So I'm going to put some bleach in there. Yeah, and that's pretty much what I'm gonna do. And then one thing that's not really important at all, but I would like to just mention it just because I've been thinking about it. Look, man, I love lens, and I have received the first lens I've ever owned, which is amazing, and I love it so much. But I'm already thinking about what I should do for my second lens. And at first I thought, okay, logically if I have a wide zoom, I would like a long zoom. So that's the Tamron 70 to 180. And the price for that is actually like $1,000 or $1,100. But after having a conversation with Tommy, the Macanese guy, who got an old vintage lens on eBay for like $20, I realized, you know what, it's totally fine if I just buy a lens on eBay for cheap. If it's used, but only a little bit scratched, like at the side, not like the glass. If the glass is scratched, don't fucking use it. If it's a little torn at the side, it's fine. Okay, it's fine. It's still usable. It's cheap. So lately, I've been doing quite a bit of research comparing prices, like official prices of a lens and eBay prices for used lenses that are not too damaged. First of all, I don't regret buying this lens on the official, because if you look at eBay, you won't find this lens because this lens is too new, and even if someone has this lens, they probably won't give it away because it's just too damn good. But for my next lens, the Tamron 70 to 180, maybe I'll buy it on eBay. And I even compared it with Hong Kong price, because in Hong Kong, you don't have to pay taxes because it's already included in the price. Damn. The temperatures, the climate is changing, so. But yeah, I did some research and turns out the Hong Kong price is actually even a little bit more expensive than American price for some cases. And also I want a wide lens that can distort. Now, this lens distorts pretty heavy, but the thing is, it doesn't distort the way I wanted it to. You know, the walking scene for the first shot we filmed, not really first shot, for the second scene in cloud busting, where I wanted the wide shot distortion, and I thought if I use Christian's lens and I go to the widest, we'll see a bit of distortion, and I was wrong. A, it's not wide enough. B, even if it's wide enough, a lot of lens actually try to correct the distortion as part of the lens. So my 16 millimeter here distorts pretty hard, but there are lenses out there that are like 14 millimeters that doesn't distort at all. And it's a good thing, supposedly. What I'm looking for is a lens that can distort. So about a week ago, I found out that maybe when Paul Thomas Anderson, when Yorgos Lanthimos, when Luc Besson made the freaking Leon the Professional, maybe they use fisheye lens. So I found a fisheye lens that's not too expensive, TT Artisan 11 millimeters. But then I don't think that's it. And then I realized all the movies that I just thought of, that I just mentioned. I didn't mention any movies, but you know, Leon the Professional, Boogie Nights and Magnolia, and you know, movies like The Revenant, and not The Revenant. It doesn't have that distortion, but I forgot. But I want the distortion. Turns out they use anamorphic lens, and so I wanted for my next lens to not be the Tamron, but the anamorphic 24 millimeter. And the best one I got is Sirui, or Sirui 24. And that's a Chinese lens, and I don't want to buy that. But I kind of need it. And turns out you can buy it on eBay for a cheaper price than in Hong Kong. So now I'm not going to buy it now because it's really fucking expensive. But if I have time in the future, I'll buy it. Okay. Bye-bye. Alright, time now is 8:04 a.m. in the morning on October 27th. October 26th. Okay, this will be quick. Fuck. It's a Wednesday, so I'm going to film 32. I woke up at 7:45. I slept from 3:10. Yes, 3:10 to 7:45, and I'm tired as fuck. I need to go to bed earlier than 3 tonight, please. So something's wrong with my phone. Maybe the port is a little wet, so it didn't charge. It charged very slowly from 30-something% battery to 68%. And then I'm like, what the heck? So I tried to unplug the plug and then replug it it's not letting me now, so I guess I can't charge my phone anymore. New acne, so that's good. Didn't have much of a dream, but I did have a pretty tragic dream where everybody I know is dying. I went back to the school or something. I went back to Hong Kong, and people like Pink, Leah, another person, Natalie, all of them were dealing with some sort of sickness or some sort of injury that's gonna kill them or something. And I was so sad, I almost cried. And there's also someone I love. I forgot who. It's not Mary, but they got a boyfriend. They got a new boyfriend, and it made me pretty upset and jealous. But I just, given that it is their like last month to live, I was like, you know what? If they're happy, I'm happy. That's it. Um, so yeah, I actually woke up at 7:45 because I also wanted to give myself a little more time and be less stressed in the morning to catch the bus. Today's gonna be chill. Hopefully the professor let us leave the class early so that I and Pepper could study together early. I really don't know why I'm having so much acne. Okay, this is natural acne. This isn't human induced. But I think it's because of dust in the streets. So I'm going to maybe put on some moisturizing cream before I go. Um, but yeah, I digress. I hope I and Pepper get to study a little earlier, so that we have more alone time. And yeah, that's it. I and Cliff, the Malaysian guy, also had a discussion last night. So he told me that apparently DM Post 3 is an editing class that uses Adobe Premiere Pro, while DM Post 30 uses Avid. I've never used Avid before, so you know what? Screw it. I'll switch to DM Post 3. And then he asked me to hang out and asked me if I want to watch American Graffiti with him. Even though I don't really care for the movie, I haven't heard of it. Maybe it's good for me to hang out with him. Except the screening of that film is on a Friday, and I'm not sure if I'll be free for that. And then nothing else. Not much else. Tomorrow I have to wake up again, early again for the freaking Club Row activity thing, and I'll have to figure out a way to dress in a slightly weird way in order to celebrate Halloween, which is something I've never done before. So that's that. All right. Time now is 8:54 p.m. on October 26th, and I just had a pretty fascinating day. I just had a pretty fascinating day. Yeah, let's talk about it. So first of all, I spent about 11 hours outside of my apartment today, just at the CMD, just at my college campus, which is insane. I arrived quite early. Then I finished the peanut butter cookies. I'm so happy I finished it because I fucking hate it and I'll never buy it again in my life. But I was pretty hungry this morning. I had a sweet tooth this morning, so I like ate the cookies really fast. Um, and I arrived and people started showing up. So today's a chill class. The last class it was the Matrix. And today's class we basically spent about 1.5 hours discussing how well we did last week. We watched the footage we took, and surprisingly, we did really well. Both surprisingly and unsurprisingly, we did really well. And then after a small break, we went back to the classroom to talk about our next four projects. So for our next 4 weeks, every single week we're going to shoot a scene non-stop. We don't have a pre-production class anymore. We're going to have a shoot and then another shoot and another shoot and then another shoot. Just 4 in a row. So we basically assigned roles, and then we had lunch break, and then we came back, and then at 3 p.m. we were let go. We were let go, and that's pretty much it. But a lot has happened in between. So let's talk about the first break first. So, or actually during the first half of the class. Pepper and Andy sat. So Pepper sat next to me, and Pepper and Andy were also sitting together. Andy behind me, behind Pepper, and they were just talking, and I can't really hear them very well, and I don't intend to overhear them anyways. I don't intend to eavesdrop, but I heard them talking about like guys, and girl talk. Andrea would pull up an Instagram account of a guy, and then Pepper would pull up an Instagram account of a guy, and they would chat. Ooh, he's totally my type. So Pepper looked at one of the Instagrams, or I don't know if it's an Instagram or just a photo or whatever, but I heard her saying, "Wow, she's totally my type," and wow, like he's so cute. He's so cute. And obviously, me hearing this as a close friend of Pepper's, close friend. Can I even consider us close friends? I guess we kind of can at this rate. More on that later. But as a close friend of Pepper's, I was a little disheartened, so I looked away, and I was like, sort of moody, and also like again with my acne and my hair being all trashy. I just don't feel good in general. I just don't look good, and I don't feel good. Um, and that's that. Now during break. Now that being said, though, again, a few days ago. Okay, I don't know. Like my relationship with Pepper is going like lots of highs and lows again. Not even highs and lows, just slight ups and slight downs. Just very very slightly. Last Wednesday, I had a revelation, and then immediately on Friday, I was like, you know what, maybe I was wrong, and then now I'm beginning to think I was right again, because at the end of the day, even I'm gonna be vague about this. Even if I become a really, really, really awesome close friend of Pepper's, it's gonna just stay like that. I'll be close friend of hers, which I don't mind. Like, I love friends. I think having friends is already something that I'm really grateful for, given how lonely I used to be. Nowadays whenever I have friends, I never take it for granted. Um, but I don't think it's gonna. I think it's gonna stay that way, and I think I'm okay with that, but not in a fuck. I'm sad kind of okay with that in a peaceful way. Like I get it. It is what it is. Um, but I truly am okay with that, especially given like what I and Pepper talked about a little bit later after the class. But I'll mention that later. Now during break, I don't want to always stick with Pepper, because then I would seem like I just don't want to do that. But then I also want to stick with Pepper, because now Pepper and Alba are like really close, and I feel like, man, their East Asians are over there, and I can talk with them better. So but yeah, I was with so the main gang basically is now Jonathan, the big Latino guy. There's the Aztec American girl. Christian showed up. Eric showed up. Eric didn't show up in the first 1.5 hours because he was like sick. Um, and then I was with them for a little while, and then I quietly retreated and went to the table at the side, outside of the building, where Pepper, Alba, and Andrea were sitting. And I put down my bag and I whipped out my camera. And it's awesome. And I don't want to be a show off. I want to show off. That's the main reason why I brought my camera here. But also, the other reason is I want to know how it feels to hold the camera outside, because I'm going to be doing a lot of that. So I like waved my camera around. It was awesome. And of course, I knew Pepper's going to do that, and Pepper did that. Pepper took my camera and took some photos of me. because Pepper would take film photos of me as well as other people, not just me. But yeah, and then Alba also got interested, and Alba asked me how expensive it is, and I'm like, wow, it's 3,600, and Alba's like, wow. And Alba like played with the Zoom ring a little bit, and she has no hand sweat. I don't know if it's like an Asian thing or is it a global thing, as in like it's less frequent for an East Asian person to have sweaty palms, or maybe it's like equally the same sort of statistics all around the world. I don't know. I don't know why I'm talking about this, but she played around with my Zoom ring and she's like, "Oh, it's pretty cool." So that's that. And then I ate my granola bar. That's been sitting in my backpack for like 3 weeks already. And then I went back to class, yada yada. And I was so chill. We were so chill. The professor, our Italian professor, basically disappeared. And we basically had to sign up for roles. So the 4 people who are chosen to direct the next 4 scenes that we're going to shoot in this class, the 4 people chosen are David Swede, Yulia the Russian girl, Leia the Czech-in girl, and Andrew the white guy. I mean, they're all white, but but Leia didn't show up today, so we ended up signing up roles for 3 shorts, 3 scenes. So I went with sound mixer with David's, unit production manager with Yulia's, and then with Andrew's editor. And these 3 choices are also meticulously chosen, aside from UPM. So sound mixer, that's something that I've been wanting to do for a while now because it's the most relaxed role. You just sit back, you sit down for hours straight, you listen to recordings, that's it. It's awesome. UPM, I actually wanted to be first AD, but somebody else took it because a lot of people love doing first AD. So there's that. But the closest thing to first AD is UPM, so might as well. And then for Andrew's scene, his scene comes from a play and not a movie. So editing is going to be completely original, meaning that we are going to create a shot list out of nothing with no reference point at all, meaning that the editing is going to be completely original. So this is the scene where the editing matters the most, and I want to do it actually. And I was almost kind of scared that somebody else will do it, so I raised my hand. I straight up walked out and told Andrew, like, hey, can I do the editing? And he's like, oh, sure. And then he was passionate about it, and he's like, oh, that's great, And I asked him, oh, the editing is going to be completely original, right? And he's like, yeah. So where do you live? Let's meet up sometime, like after you retrieve the footage. Let's meet up, and then let's talk about how we're gonna edit this. The pacing, the aspect ratio, and he's really passionate about it, and that's cool. But yeah, and then for Leia's, I don't know when will we sign up, but I will either be DP or first AD. Both of these roles are extremely popular, so if I do neither, then I just don't care anymore. But if first AD is taken, I'll be DP. If DP is taken, I'll be first AD. That's that. And then that's it. So Pepper wanted to be first AC, and she told me, like she would just tell me, like, hey, I want to be first AC. And then I'm like, just tell him, just raise your hand. If I can raise my hand, you can too. Given how like fucking socially anxious I was. Well, I'm not anymore. I'm a fucking phoenix. But Pepper never did it until at some point David signed up to be first AC in Yulia's short. And Pepper's like, fuck. No, Pepper didn't know. Pepper raised her hand and asked to be first AC. Turns out David already has it. Pepper gets embarrassed and her whole face turns red. And throughout the whole day, after her face had turned red, her face remained red for the entire rest of the day. She has some blood issues, which I'm also going to talk about a little later. But she was like, fuck. And I was like, it's okay, because Pepper's a small East Asian girl. Nobody's gonna look at a small East Asian girl and go, I will not let you challenge me. Fuck you. Like, you can't do that. In Los Angeles, you can't do that. So yeah, that's that. But yeah. Even though Pepper's like, okay, so a little bit later, Pepper and Andrea continued their, lovey-dovey guys discussion, which is fine. Girls do that all the time, I guess. And Pepper was even talking about someone. I heard she mentioning the word crush. I don't know if she's trying to say that guy has a crush on me or I have a crush on him. But, shit. And then she talks about how, oh, yesterday something happened. And then today something happened. And when she said those things, it reminds you of how back in 2019 when I was like really infatuated with Mary, I would say things like, oh, yesterday I saw Mary in my classroom, and then today Mary walked past me and then she looked at me like, shit. So again, I don't know. I don't know what's happening, or maybe they're not really talking about, maybe Pepper's not really talking about herself. Maybe Pepper's talking about another guy with another girl. There's no way in telling that. I didn't eavesdrop on them. Like, I can hear them, but I didn't hear much, and that's all the information I know. But even so, surprisingly, Pepper's not like distant. Like, oh, I'm into a guy and I will be distant from all other guys. Maybe Pepper's already distant from me and she's naturally very extroverted. I don't know. But Pepper's really like nice to me today. Like, Pepper trusted me in a way she doesn't trust anyone else, like aside from her female friends. But I feel like as far as male friends go, I feel like I'm probably the person Pepper trusts the most. Aside from Jorge, but he's gay. And I feel like that's partially why Pepper trusts Jorge so much. Lunch break. Pepper's like, Pepper, Andrea, and Eric went to the vending machines and bought stuff, and they were like, oh, we're not hungry. Even if I was hungry, but even if I'm not, I have to go out and eat something. My calories, man, I need them calories. So at the end, we had like 40 minutes, and Christian's like, you know what, let's go somewhere. And Andrea's like, oh, do we have time? And Christian or Eric was like, oh yeah, we have time. And then we just went off, and then we went to Cafe Bluey, which is the same place we went to in the first week. And I got myself a Bluey burger, which is a beef, onion, tomato, lettuce burger with a side of a salad, and it slaps. It's good. I enjoy it. Again, there is a concern that it may come after a long time, and it sort of did, but I and Pepper, we just speed ran the whole fucking thing. Christian also ordered something, I think. Oh, I forgot. Oh yeah, Christian did order something. And Eric's burrito came super freaking late, and nobody knows why. And Andrea only ordered like an oatmeal or something, so Andrea finished first. And by the time Andrea finished, Eric's order wasn't delivered yet at all, so that was hilarious. But we rushed back to the campus. I and Pepper, we finished our meals already, and Christian ate, or Eric ate his burrito on the way while Christian drove, and then we went back to campus, and it turns out we are not late, and that's cool. Okay, second half of the class, not much happens. A lot of chilling, a lot of doing nothing, a lot of chatting around. Again, Pepper and I like talk. Andrea sat between me and Pepper, but then Pepper would randomly speak Cantonese to me, and Andrea would say, that's all I can hear. Like, Andrea literally said that, and I laughed. It's a little racist, but in a funny way. so I don't really mind. um, and then yeah, that's pretty much it. And then this is where things actually start to get interesting. So I and Pepper, we plan to do something very fascinating today. That's right, we're gonna study. So after class, it was 3 p.m., which is great, which means that we have a lot of time. We went to study. But before that, I and Pepper and Alba ran into Theo outside of the building. And then Theo's like, "Hey, Enoch!" And he hugged me. He's super extroverted. He has a huge ego. He's very relaxed and charismatic. And he's like, "Oh, I'm so pretty. I love myself." Blah 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 blah. I don't hate Theo, but that's sort of his thing, you know. Yeah. And then Theo introduced me, Pepper, Alba, to two of his classmates from Film 21. One is an Afghanistani woman who speaks perfect, fluent American English, and the other is just a white girl with a lot of pimples, very short, like a nerd. But I'm not gonna. She's kind. She's a kind person. And at first it's like, "Hi, how are you?" I wasn't really interested, but it was whatever. But then, at some point, anime is mentioned, and Alba's like they're mentioning, oh, Dragon Ball Z and My Hero Academia, My Superhero Academia, the Afghanistani woman said. And I thought Alba would think like, wow, like Americans love our stuff, you know. But actually, Alba responded with saying, oh, I'm actually watching My Hero Academia as well, but I haven't gotten to that scene yet. And I a bit later asked Alba like, oh, like you watch anime? And she's like, yeah. And I said, oh, I thought in Japan, like if you watch too much anime, people think you're an otaku. And then Alba's like, oh yeah, but and before she could finish the sentence, something comes up again. So for a whole chunk of that conversation, for about like 20 minutes, it's basically Theo and the Afghanistani girl, the Afghan girl, the woman, just joking around and bouncing off of each other like they're starting a podcast or something. And it's just them joking around, singing randomly. Now, I look fucking ugly with my hair and with my lack of facial hair and with my pimples. Theo gave me a hat. Theo gave me his hat. It was sort of like a straw hat, but like Michael Jackson. And the Afghan girl was like, oh, you're like Michael Jackson. You know Michael Jackson, right? And I'm like, yeah. It's also kind of funny because she thought me, Pepper, Alba were all three Japanese. And it's not the first time somebody thought I was Japanese, but yeah, it's just really funny. Alba speaks Japanese. I and Pepper speak Cantonese. That's our mother language. And then it starts to get awkward when it's just Theo and Afghan woman dominating the whole conversation. And then Leslie, the Chinese girl, showed up out of nowhere for no reason at all. And I asked her, like, what, are you here for class? And she's like, no, I'm just here. And then I'm like, just because? And she's like, yeah, just because. Like, she didn't exactly say that. She's just like, oh, because it's CMD, you know, I have to be here. Like, I just want to be here. So, okay. And then, like, Leslie and I and Pepper, we speak English to each other. And Alba finds it weird. And Alba didn't know that there's a difference between Cantonese and Mandarin. And it's amazing. I don't hate Alba or anything, and it sort of makes sense. Like, why would a random Japanese girl know anything about Hong Kong culture or Chinese culture anyways? But it's true. Like, I can tell the difference between hiragana, katakana, and kanji. And Alba doesn't seem too shocked that I know that either. Because I guess, again, maybe to her, it's just normal that outsiders just love Japanese culture. Which is true. But she herself can't even tell the difference between Cantonese and Mandarin. And that's a huge red flag that the world needs to be more aware of us and our culture and our cultural differences. But yeah, that's that. But yeah, at some point, I and Pepper are like, okay, we need to go. Like, Pepper wants to leave. You can tell that me, Alba, and Pepper, all three of us want to just get out of the conversation as quick as possible. But all three of us were shy. All three of us were just East Asians, man. We can't confront. So at some point, I found a magical time, a magical pause in the conversation where I said, okay, I and Pepper, we have to go somewhere. So I and Pepper, we just left reluctantly. And then Leslie showed up, but then we left. Pepper went to the cafe to buy coffee again for like the third time. Pepper bought a lot of coffee. Or actually, the second time today. The first time was from the vending machine, and according to her, it tastes like shit. But yeah. So I went upstairs to the sitting area where Pepper and Connor studied together. But I didn't sit on the same seat because that's too disgraceful, you know. But we went there and I waited for her. And I thought she ghosted me. I thought she just ran. But turns out she's not going to the vending machine. She's going to the cafe. But yeah, anyways, when I was alone, oh yeah, I walked up the stairs and I saw Udav, the Indian guy, just like staring, not even in a menacing way, just in a like, oh, I'm on the top of the world, just staring down on the second floor. Just people are getting more and more weird. The more I know people, the weirder people start getting. Like Alba, like even when I and Alba and Pepper and like the three other people, including Theo, 6 of us were sort of standing there. Alba mentioned that she's going to dye her hair again. It hasn't been 3 weeks since she had dyed her hair, and she's dyeing her hair again because she constantly wants color change because she likes it. And that's kind of cool because one of the characters I want to write the most is a character who constantly changes their hairstyle, their whatever, their look in general, their appearance. And Alba's becoming that character, but I made that character first before I even know Alba. So that's really interesting. And again, I feel like everyone's boring, but everyone's kind of interesting too in their own way, you know, especially with Pepper, which I'm going to talk about now. So at some point, Pepper did show up with me, and we sat a little bit, and then we went to room 271. It's an empty room, and I, as the VP of Scriptwriting Club, and Scriptwriting Club owns this room, as well as the interactional design majors. I just went in there. It's unlocked, and I went in there, and I and Pepper, we just pulled our laptops and we chatted, and it was nice. And the purpose of our study together isn't even like Duolingo. I mean, it is Duolingo, but we didn't even talk about Duolingo all that much in the beginning anyway. So we talked about, she showed me the last scene of the short film she made, and it's just a guy and a girl squatting and smoking on the streets, which is so Hong Kong and so cliche and so Mancheng, you know. But it's fine, you know, it's not terrible. And then I showed my short film, and she's like, yeah, it's not bad. It sounds like shit, but it's not bad. And there were some moments in my short film, like when the main character fused his face into the statue, or when, like, we have the stacking shots with the old man, and then we have the scene where the main character looks back and it's Hong Kong. Like, Pepper, like, visually gave a look, which is really cool. That's what I wanted, man. To shock people, to surprise people. That worked really well. And then Pepper showed me Jorge's short film, which is actually not bad. It's pretty well edited, really crisp. But Pepper said she likes mine more. Talked about applications. Apparently, Leslie, Alba, and Pepper are going to team up to help out with like a dance society to film a dance video again. And I'm like, fuck, why didn't I hear anything about that? And turns out Pepper forgot about it until today when Alba reminded her. And apparently, during the Matrix shoot, when Pepper was the grip, the white guy professor asked Pepper and Alba to help out. So yeah, that's basically that. So I'm like, wow, I'm starting to get like a little jealous. Like, we have so much film opportunities. So when I was alone before Pepper arrived with her coffee, I emailed both the Indian professor and the white guy professor again. All right, but yeah, we were in the room and we were laughing and giggling, and it was a great time, And at some point, a woman came into the room, and she's like, "Oh, just you can stay here. Just make sure you're out by 5:30." But if a woman's here, I and Pepper can't speak in Cantonese anymore because it sounds like we're terrorists. So we had to leave. So we left, and then we went to the sitting area again, which is right outside the door, and we sat down and we did the Duolingo test. And that is when Connor, the Macanese guy, randomly showed up. So when Pepper and Andrea earlier today were looking at cute guys, oh my god, crushes and cute guys, I almost thought, and maybe it's true, that they're talking about Connor. One of the guys they're talking about is Connor. And of course they weren't talking about me. I'm not fucking cute. They're talking about Connor. Maybe. I don't know. But then I also heard Pepper say something to the effect of, oh, but in this Instagram post or in this Instagram story, it seems like he already has a girlfriend. And then Andrea's like, no, she's just a female friend. And then Pepper's like, no, the way he touches her. So it's all like, I've never seen any of that in Connor's Instagram. But yeah, there's that. Yeah, Connor swung by and he's like, oh, what are you two doing? And then Duolingo test, what? Is that real? Like, do you guys have to actually do that? And then he just walked away. And then it's just me and Pepper. We continue our conversation. So I told Pepper to do a practice Duolingo test. And she actually did it. And it was not very great. Like, it really shows that she's not good in English. Plus, she's really stressed when I'm watching her. Because, like, oh, that's grammatically wrong. Oh, that... And I was just pointing out the mistakes. And I didn't want to pressure her too much. But I also don't know how else to help her. But yeah, that's really amazing. And then we talked about personal insight questions a little bit. She talked about how she spoke to a counselor face to face in person, and the counselor told her to take photography 1 and photography 2 because apparently it's required for CSUN. But then I don't think so, because if you go to the agreements, it's there, but it's not necessary. So I don't know what's going on. And apparently Alba's also taking photography 1 and 2, but she's not taking film 33. But then I want to take film 33. Pepper's taking film 33. And I also want to take political science 51. So lots to think about. Whew, all right. Should I sit down? Yes, I should. But yeah, I wouldn't say this is the first time I showed my laptop to a girl, but it's funny when when I and Natalie met way back when in 2021, way back when in December, I was like, oh, Natalie, I gotta show you my laptop, but at the end I never got to do that because I never had the chance to, and I realized, man, that's stupid. Why did I want to do that anyways? And then a little bit earlier, when Pepper drank coffee, and I'm like, wow, you drink a lot of coffee. And I told Pepper, you remind me of someone. It's such an ominous statement. Oh, man. Yeah, I and Pepper talked about many things. It just sort of strayed off, because, like, we did Duolingo test, and then we ended up talking about, like, how awesome Cantonese is, because Pepper just swears in Cantonese a lot, and she's like, man, swearing in English is nowhere near as fun as swearing in Cantonese, which is true, and swearing in English is already, like, very freaking good, but Cantonese swearing is, like, top-notch, like, you cannot compare. And then Pepper showed 15 something, a song she wrote when she was 15, sort of the lyrics. And she's like, oh, it's so embarrassing, but like, don't judge me. And then I read it, and it's not that bad. Maybe it's because my Chinese is bad, and I can't really criticize other people's Chinese, but honestly, it's not bad, I guess. And then I wanted to show her some of the English poems I've written, but it's embarrassing, and also I can't really find them. But I showed her a little bit of the newer ones that I've done. We were talking about like school fees, and she just randomly mentioned that she has actually used the health insurance fee twice because she went to the hospital twice. So she, of course, there's the incident where her left ear, right ear, was hit by a big blue bus and was bleeding. But then another time she had a heart attack because apparently she had this weird illness where there's another hole or like another tube in her heart. So sometimes for some reason blood goes through that tube and she just gets messed up. She feels really dizzy and she has a heart attack. And it has happened multiple times throughout her life. And it happens anytime, like in a class, on the streets, just anytime. But yeah, that's a pretty interesting fact. And then, you know, I almost joked around because for multiple times today I told Pepper because I want to get personal with Pepper. You know, that's something I've been wanting to do for months now. I told Pepper like, the more you know about me, the more you're gonna think I'm insane. But then honestly, at some few points, I think Pepper is even weirder than me, and that's good. I want that to be the case. I don't want to be the weird one. You know, I want to be the normal one. I want to be weirded out. I want to be surprised. Um, but yeah, Pepper does after tonight. Pepper does come off a little more interesting. Also, when Connor passed by, I looked at Pepper to see her reaction. Because if Pepper truly was talking about Connor when she was discussing with Andrea, she would probably give a pretty, oh, it's him sort of reaction. But maybe she's good at acting and I can't tell. I don't know. But Pepper didn't seem to give a huge reaction or anything. Anyways, I and Pepper talked about like music in my little airport and like how like you can use Cantonese and Chinese to like write so much with so little, but in English you just can't express it. And I'm like, yeah, that's true, that's true. But yeah, the Duolingo test today, I hope I did manage to help Pepper, especially in the writing and the speaking. And even during the fill in the blanks, I told Pepper, like, okay, this is a verb, this is a noun, this is an adjective. And Pepper's like, oh, I've never thought about it this way before. So I really do hope that I actually legitimately help Pepper. But, man, my hair sucks. But yeah, we just talked and talked and talked. And maybe at around like 7 or something, we walked to the bus stop and we continued talking. And this is when we start to get like more personal, I guess. I don't know how it started, but I guess, oh yeah, Pepper read my personal insight question, my first draft of personal insight question 2, for question 2, which is creativity. And it's I wrote about writing diaries and I wrote about turning my life into video games, and she's like, wow, that's pretty cute, turning your life into video games, that's pretty cute. And she used the Cantonese word for cute, so it's not like the same cute as, oh, he's cute, you know. But when she saw that I write diaries, she's like, wow, really, you write diaries? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, wow, that's pretty interesting. Or something like that. And then she asked me, well, if you haven't joined any extracurricular activities back in secondary school, then what do you even write about? And then I told her, oh, it's so much has happened. It's so like rich. You have no idea. But yeah, Pepper's joined, like, Pepper has so many friends back in secondary school, and Pepper became the vice president of a student union, and he's going to write that for PIQ question 1, which is leadership, which I'm not going to write. But when I told Pepper about how, like, for a very long period of time in my life, when I, like, especially forms 4 and 5, when I didn't have any friends, people just walk past me and I feel invisible. And Pepper's like, oh, yeah, I understand that too, you know. Like when my student union was chosen, all the people at the other student union who were originally my friends sort of ignore me, and I'm like, but how about your student union? And she's like, oh, it's full of my friends too. So Pepper really has a lot of friends. And Pepper really cannot relate to me all that much, but maybe to a certain degree. But Pepper did say that she doesn't think I have social anxiety at all, which is a good thing because I don't think I do. But I did have some sort of social obstacle, and now it's way better. Now the situation is way better. Like Pepper said, when I and Tommy, the Macanese guy, chatted, like we were actually chatting quite happily. And Pepper's like, it doesn't seem like you're socially anxious at all. And I'm like, yeah, that's true. I also asked Pepper, like, do I look good with or without glasses? And Pepper's like, without. And I'm like, yeah, that's true. Because I started wearing glasses in 2020 November. And I didn't exist back then. I started to wear something like this when I didn't exist back then. And I joked saying, haha, like, I know I'm being very vague. But Pepper was like, no, I understand. I understand. I asked Pepper if she's gonna join the Halloween party, and she's like, nah. I also told Pepper I'm gonna watch a movie because I kind of want to watch a movie with her, but that's a long shot. She'll probably say no, and she said no because the movie's on Friday. So this Friday I'll go watch Tar in Century City. But Pepper's busy. Pepper's got class on that day. And again, Pepper's not going to the Halloween party because Pepper's also very busy. So yeah, this year I'm not gonna go to the Halloween party. If Pepper's not going, I'm not going. And that's okay because I have nothing to cosplay. I look like shit and I have nothing to cosplay. Yeah. Yeah. And if I want to experience my first American party experience, it's gotta be with Pepper. But I and Pepper really share a lot of like common ground. Like we went like a lot more personal today. Like our conversation went a lot more personal today. Because Pepper was trying to recall what happened in the USA. You know, many things happened. She had a heart attack. Her ear got hit by a bus. She almost got thrown into a swimming pool in an American party. You know, a lot of drama happened when she moved into the Airbnb in Koreatown. I and Pepper talked about how I've never seen Pepper angry, and how like when I and Pepper like played Kramer versus Kramer, I thought, man, I've seen Pepper angry, and Pepper's like, no, I'm way worse than that. Like I'm way more like I'm way more like aggressive in real life, which is interesting because I've never been angry in front of people before in the USA. I don't think I have. So, you know, it's normal to hide your anger. Um, but yeah, there's that. But I and Pepper, we talked about how so much shit has happened. And Pepper's like, oh yeah, you know, the last 2 months feels like it's been 6 months. And I'm like, yeah, that's true. Like, 2022 for me so far has been like 6 years long. And then 2020 to 2021 is like 2 weeks long. And Pepper's like, yeah, yeah. We talked really well. Like there's a huge difference between us, but we just chat really well, you know? And I feel like I revealed a part of myself to her that I haven't revealed like truly to her, and that is like my dark side, you know, or more like just a side of me who's like edgy. You know, I told her about how like I'm such an angry person during Phone 4 and 5, and how I got into death metal, and how I love Radiohead, and Radiohead's music is really like depressing. Pepper recommended a Taiwanese indie band to me. And then we talked about movies and talked about how like violence in cinema is good, but you need to portray it with taste. Cause I and Pepper we also talked about film history a little bit, and I was really into it. You know, I talked about you know, in France, you know, there's World War II, and after that, there's French New Wave, and then Pepper's like, man, you should teach history. You should teach film history. Like you just seem really convinced. But yeah, and then I talked about Hong Kong film history, and I talked about how we are the next generation, and there is this huge sense of self-importance, and Pepper's pretty impressed by that as well. Um, so yeah, Pepper also didn't wear an eyeliner today, and my hair still looks like shit. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. Yeah. Um. Yeah. And then tomorrow I'll be hearing from Pepper again because we'll have the HKOS meeting. Tomorrow's gonna be another interesting day. So yay. Oh yeah, I remember what I was going to mention. When the Afghan girl was talking about. Oh no. So apparently the girl with a lot of pimples today. She said she's really into animation, and I said, "So you really like cartoons and animation?" And she's like, "Yeah." And then Pepper asked her, "What's your favorite anime?" And she said, I kid you not, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. And then Aoba's like, "I've never heard of it," and I'm 100% sure she's heard of it. She just doesn't know that that's the English title. So I actually went online and searched, and it's like Renkin Jutsushi or something. And then I pronounced it back to her, and she's like, "Oh, see, I'm fucking good. I'm so fucking good, man."